Commissioner Underhill, next question for you first. What do you think should be done with OLF8 and how should it be funded?
OLF8 absolutely never should have been built. We never should have gone down this road. Folks, this is not our job. I was talking with one of our prominent real estate people about some retail, and he said, and I was asking his advice and counsel, and he said at the end of it, he said, "Now, Commissioner, please don't start getting involved in retail, because you're going to do what you did to industrial. You know that nobody is risking their private capital building industrial? Because, Commissioner, we can't compete with the government in the handouts." So the straight answer to the question is we shouldn't have gone down that road, but now that we're down that road, if we have an opportunity to recapitalize that $17 million, that's roughly 3 years worth of road resurfacing. Put it in perspective, $17 million. If we can recapitalize that money, bring that back into the public coffers and put it to the infrastructure projects that it should have been spent on in the first place, then we have a very narrow window of opportunity here where we can actually avoid the very expensive consequences of some very bad decision making. Now, it's easy to say that, well, we're going to create this facility, and then people are going to flock to it. Okay? We cannot drink our own Kool-Aid on this economic development stuff, folks. It just isn't working that way. We have lots of empty industrial space already. And by the way, the sector plan, the Escambia County sector plan for the north half of the county, allotted and set aside some property as industrial. Thinking about what that real estate professional said, how will that industrial property ever be built out in accordance with the sector plan if we're in fact competing with them, building and giving away land at OLF8?
Well, I think this is it working? Oh, yeah. I think this is an issue where you will see a big difference between Doug Underhill and Alan McMillan and how they view this. First of all, I had an opportunity to be on the Restore Committee for a number of years. And in the Restore Committee, we were charged by the County Commission to rank all maybe 124 projects, of which that was one, and we ranked them all. And towards the end of the process, the County Commission asked the committee to really kind of change a little bit their model and rank them really in three groups: environmental, infrastructure, and jobs and economic growth. And when we did that, we all had an opportunity to go back and look at all the rankings that we had done previously, reevaluate them. I chose to do that, and I actually chose a modest score on OLF8 to a much higher score, because at that time it was one of, in my opinion, the finest proposals to create jobs. Yes, $17 million is a lot of money, but if $17 million can create $200, $300 million, then there's a massive payoff in growth for us. Now, I'm not saying that OLF8 is a perfect, nothing is perfect. Whether or not it should be built just like it has been talked about being built, or whether it should be modified. Clearly, one of the things I believe in is you talk to the people. So we didn't do that back during the Restore period, because the people didn't come in and offer any other position. We just ranked our projects. But today, the people in Beulah are talking about OLF8, and I think it's our job to listen to them. Maybe it ought to be some sort of a multi-use project or not. Clearly, we don't want heavy industry there, but I don't think that's ever been proposed. We've gone a long way down the road as a county in working with the Navy and others to make this project work. And I think at this point in time, we need to move forward and towards the final end of it. And the final end of it is to evaluate it in today's light, not 3 years ago or 4 years ago's light, and try to make a good decision. Is it the right one for us to follow up on, or do we need to change it at all? Thank you very much.
Shouldn't come as a doubt to any, or question to anybody that I was going to rebut this one. Mr. McMillan is absolutely right. This is an absolute differentiator. When this project came before us, it was supposed to be $6 million. Now it's at $17 million. So apparently what you need to do is, when people tell you that something's going to be a great deal, add another $10 million and see if it's still a good deal for you. We've actually heard other commissioners say, if I'd have known it was going to cost this much, I wouldn't have gotten into it. Well, let me tell you, folks, if you do your homework ahead of time, if you do your research, and if you ask the hard questions, you will know, and you would have known, as the Lieutenant Commander from the Navy said, when I asked him that hard question, I said, how did this go from $6 million to $17 million? And he said, Commissioner, This was never a $6 million deal. It was always going to be a very expensive deal. Now keep in mind, $17 million just gets you to a land swap. It doesn't include the $20 million of restore funds that would be necessary to actually make it an industrial park. Mr. McMillan has mentioned that he on the board, when he sat on the restore board, he doubled the score for his assessment. He looked at it for 4 years and had a low score, a modest score as he put it, and in the very last meeting, he increased his score twofold. And when another member of the restore board was surprised by that at the very last meeting when there was no opportunity for rebuttal or discussion, another member of the restore board asked, well, can you explain why? And the answer was, I don't owe you an answer. Okay? I'm going to tell you right now, folks, as your commissioner, I owe you an answer to every question, anytime, anywhere. And if I've explained it to you and you don't understand it yet, that's not your fault, that's my fault. I haven't finished explaining. Every time that your elected officials spend $1 of your money, and it doesn't matter which district they spend it in, when we spend $1 of your money, we owe you an answer for why we chose to spend that dollar there and not elsewhere. If, in looking at all of the things about Escambia County, and especially about District 2, you take a look at all the things we could do with an unlimited amount of money, and you come to the conclusion that the best thing to do for District 2 is to build an industrial park in District 1, then I have to wonder if you really have a perspective of what's important for District 2. Thank you.